Hello, everyone. It is December 24th, 2018. This is part two of the pet goat video. Again, I wanted just to quickly show the date stamp, and we are now at 5:40 a.m. on Monday, December 24th, 2018. Um, I'm not going to do the Fair Use Act. Again, it's Section 107 of the Copyright Act, United States Fair Use Act. Basically, I can go ahead and film this because this is for education and research. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So I'm moving on from this particular picture, which is showing him graduating. We've got it moving on right now with this tassel pulled forward. I just went ahead and did the analysis of this. So we're now moving across to this girl in the other end of the room. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I pointed this out in the last part. I wanted to show you this in particular because you're seeing right here, we've got an individual with a Jewish cap. I forget the name, and they're just terrible. I don't even know it, and I'm Jewish. And you have a hand gesture right here. So we've got him at the, if this is 12 of these figures, we've got him at the third from the left. So January, February, March. This was done in June of 2012. So I want to show you what makes this so absolutely creepy. And it proves a point as to the world that we live in that we don't understand. We've got him in a particular pose. This is quite unique. Let's see. I guess I had an interruption there, but I will keep moving on here. So we've got 3. There's the hand pose coming into a diamond shape. What happened on the 3rd month of 2018? We've got Donald Trump at the White House with President Netanyahu, excuse me, recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. It had been discussed. He came there to meet with him on March of this year. Now, you may not think that that's President Trump, but this is a very unique body pose that he has with pretty much everybody. You can see this. He's with everybody in the world, and he's doing the same thing again and again and again. So ask yourself how they knew that he would be in that position 5 years prior from the time he was elected. Look at all these pictures. This tells you what is really going on, what we don't understand how we're being played. Again, this is an occultish symbol as well, but nonetheless, he uses it. I don't even know if he's even aware of what he does half of the time. I think we all know his flaws. He's just another one of these puppets. Nonetheless, here he is with this whole group, taking a big old smile. Then we got this guy doing that hand symbol. They all do it. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not a leader in the world if you do not observe what this stands for. I will show a video on that as well at some point here. Again, we've got him meeting March 5th, 2018. There's the video. We've got the producer again, and of course we've got the year. So how strange we've got this in March of 2018. Okay, so after that little piece right there, there's our little character. The lights dim, focuses on in this girl, and as that happens, you see a little bit of light coming from this room that is past the second room. So there's light here that's shining on this wall, plus we have something illuminating this bunny, and we've got the girl with the apple in her hand. So the apple drops, and it splits into 2. It rolls across the floor, hits Obama's shoe, and we have 2 merging into 1, which is a lotus flower. I'm going to go back into that in just a second, but I want to go into exactly what is going on here from what I understand. We've got a stag over here on the wall, which I take as the Christmas stag. There are 5 leaves. I do not necessarily understand what this is. This could actually just be fire. I mean, there's just looks maybe like it's sleeping because there's flames. It is turning the corner. So I think this is indication of the turning of the corner into a new year. 2018 is all of this that you saw here. 2017, it was January 15th of 2017 that our last president handed the baton to the current president. And so he represented that. And of course, we saw who he had morphed, the last president, it was over in this part of the room, who he had morphed from. So that goes way back years and years to the woman in the classroom with the kids. So this is all about time. So we turn the corner here. If this is 2018, turn the corner to 2019. This wall represents that year. Something has happened that we've got now an exit door lit up. I believe this is an indication that you got an exit, you got some time to get out. But nonetheless, you've got a period of time that's going to lapse. Something yet is going to happen before this event here. Something takes place around this time of the year as well. I personally believe we're going to have two events. I have heard other prophets discuss this, that there is going to be a period of time of great chaos in the United States. And during that period of time, the Russians and the other group will take advantage of us between these two events. And we've got the heads over here with these figures, and we've got this calla lily over here. So anyway, what is very fascinating is that we've got this dark room. I'm going to bring that up in just a minute. I think what I'm going to do at this point is go back to that lit class room with Bush and show you what is on the wall, because this room that is dark is very important. Okay, so we're back to this room again where he's pointing at that corner. You've got 4 snowflakes here. The center of each of those snowflakes, you can see a Jewish star. I believe what you're seeing in that room, we're going to step outside in just a little bit, and I'm going to show you the outside of this warehouse. Each of the window panes, I believe, represent a year of time. Those 3, there's 3 windows in each room. The room we saw past 2018 into 2019, there was 3 black panes, and that room is completely black. I think that room represents 3 years of utter chaos in the U.S. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 snowflakes. I think that is indicating we've got 4 years of complete blackness. If you saw what I showed with the Economist 2019 newsprint, you could tell the magazine that they're putting out, they actually did, I think, an amended version of it because it drew too much attention. There's enough people that now know who this group of people are that it's put up an alert. They did another one, but nonetheless, they were going for a while with the pitch black. So we'll just assume that that was their original intent. So they expect 3 years of no electricity. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 snowflakes, which I believe is indicating 4 very cold winters without any electricity starting with this year. We've got an outlet down here, which oddly enough, with all the details we've got going on, that outlet from certain angles, I'm only able to catch it from time to time. It's very fuzzy. So I think it's showing that there's no power. You go from positive Fahrenheit, which you can see there's a sliding scale right here, going into the negative, and it just keeps going down. So I think what this is indicating is that temperatures are going to be brutal. People are going to be very, very, very cold. So I'll go back to the main part of the video with the room that we saw that was dark. Okay, so we're back to the girl. She's got an apple in her hand. I believe that represents Manhattan. I've heard somebody else say this, and I thought it was actually pretty interesting. They said it was probably a painted pomegranate. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but anyway, this is a girl that is at the very end of, I believe, this year. I think she's dropping an apple because what they used to have back in the 80s on the ball that was in New York was an apple. It wasn't the round electric ball that they have now that's so fancy and strobes. It was actually an apple. that came down on the pole. So I think that's what this represents. It drops down. Of course, it hits, the ex-president's shoe. We see all this stuff that's going on behind her. There's the split of the apple. We've got the lotus emerging from the two halves, becoming a whole. This is the end of duality. We've got it blossoming now. The sacred Egyptian being a lotus, a sacred Egyptian being. It talks about the different type here. Just shows her letting it go. There's that Christmas stag again. I just can't help but think maybe that's flames. And we've got this next scene here. Honestly, my personal opinion from what I see, I believe this is where I just was. This is the Dome of the Rock right here. You can see the Islamic crescent moon. That is prophecy, guys. That is what is about to actually happen. There's a reason they use that symbol. This, I believe, could be just the gate to the city. They do have two large ones that I did walk through. This could possibly be that, or if you really want to get morbid, it could be a Baal Moloch arch, which they have been setting up all over in the major capitals. It's the sacrifice arch. It's been making its tour around the world. They do that for a reason, because they put that in places they know are going to be destroyed. I think this is one of the cathedral steeples. There's also 5 of these, which there was 5 flames next to that stag. I just don't think that this represents the same thing, though it could be that it is outbound, but it's not outbound from this city per se. It's outbound from this, and it's outbound by the false, this is in the old city. I think I covered this already in the last video. Nonetheless, the Rothschilds are not what we call Jewish people. So they may be responsible for it. So we've got the 5 outbound right there. I thought that was interesting, worth noting. There is the Dome of the Rock. You can see the similarity. I think it's beyond uncanny. So again, we have the lit room. Now we've got on the other side here, let me show you this. We've got the Easter Bunny. I look at this and go, these fronds are January, February, March, April, and there's the April Bunny. Oh, went the wrong direction. Here we go. Okay, we got the calla lily on this wall. This, if you know what the design of a calla lily leaf is, it doesn't curl like this. I think this is representational of a wave. That's just my personal opinion. That could be a massive tidal wave. Calla lily meaning an old tombstone. If you see a drawing of a broken calla lily flower, it indicates someone who died before their time. White calla lilies also carry the meaning of innocence. So there you go. This room, I think, is really important. As I said, this is the 3 years of darkness that are coming from 2019 all the way through 19, 20, 21, and then we go into the next year, the next room. It actually is not a true representation. We'll go on the outside and I'll show you how I think this is playing out. So here we've got our last president and with his tassel forward. This is that back wall. So if I take this as the wall that we saw Bush in originally with the teacher, this is 2017, because that is the first year, that's the last year of his presidency when Bush morphed into him. So if this is 2017, this is 2018, this represents 2019. Now, going over to the series of windows and what they represent, again, what we had is, I said this was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This would be 2023. This is the room that is outside. This is the one that actually has the light emitting from. So we have this being 19, 20, 21, 22 being pitch black. This is 2023. This is where the snowflakes came together and smacked the window hard. It hit just shy of halfway through the pane. So just shy of halfway through the 2024, if that's what this actual pane represents. So you can see it's just a little bit shy. So anyway, we had eclipses. We had one in August 21st of 2017 that traversed the United States. We have one on April 8th, 2024. In addition to being the first total solar eclipse with a trajectory exclusive to the U.S. since the birth of America in 1776, it is also the first total eclipse of the sun that will be visible from the contiguous United States since 1979. This is what is fascinating. This is happening. This crossing is happening on April 8th, 2024. We had this one. I was here. This actually went right through Kansas City. It was exciting. August 21st, 2017. I had no clue what was really going on at that point. This is the first one since 1776 that went just through the U.S. and not through any other landmass in the world. The year our country came to be, we had one of these. So we had this one, August 21st, 2017. We're going to have this one, April 8th, 2024. That looks to me like that is April of 2024, represented by the window. So again, all these endless windows, we've got this W and this U. That W and U, there's one man who does some of these videos that I have a lot of respect for. He puts a lot of effort into it. He's a Christian. Really fine detailed with it. I think he's off on one important thing. He keeps thinking this is the Chinese Wu, being the Wu, the year of the dragon, and he is off on the year that this is all taking place because he thinks this is based on the Chinese calendar. I think he's completely wrong. I think this dragon stands for Revelation 12 dragon, which I don't think he understands what Hierophant and what that symbolism is about. Nonetheless, I noticed this when I was looking at this tonight. There is a tiny little dot on the window right here. I couldn't figure out why that was there. We've got the massive tidal waves. This looks like a shark here. I was talking about that. I'll bring up the detail on this clock tower in a second, but there's a little dot of light right here. That doesn't look to me like that's on the middle pane. That is about right there. This is like very bright, much brighter than that snow, and I thought maybe it was the snow. I have a feeling that dot is what is creating all the red light that you see from that third room, and I think we all know what that would mean. That's a lot of fire. Lots and lots and lots of fire. It does describe Babylon being destroyed in 1 hour and being destroyed by fire. I believe that is actually the Passover of the planet. It does describe in the Bible that 1/3 of the earth will be burned to a crisp. The North and South American continents are exactly 1/3 the mass of the world's mass. If you take the land mass, that is. You've got all of Africa, you've got Western Europe, you've got Russia, you got the Middle East. All that is on the one continent. You've got North, South America, Canada on the other continent. So 1/3 of it is the United States. I think this is what this is representing. I do not think this is man-made here. I think what happens to us with regard to the two that are coming against us right now is somewhere back in here, but I think this is the final call, and the eclipse is right after it saying, shh, shh, you're done. So there's the little bright light. Again, you got a clock. It's right on midnight. It's not 11:59. That is on the clock, and you've got the flag ripped into two pieces at this point. You've got the Star of David right here. You've got the Statue of Liberty. The torch is now cracking and breaking apart. Markets plunging. You got war in this eye. Again, we've got the guy, and we have the year. This is all 2012 that this was put together. Got him winking, doing his wink. Okay, this is what I thought was fascinating too. Revelation, it was like a leopard. It's talking about the beast, with feet like the feet of a bear, and had a mouth like a lion. One of its heads had a mortal wound, which healed itself, causing people to wonder at it and follow it. Now, I know who this guy is. I've shown it in my other previous videos. I gave enough information. I have no doubt he is coming back. But, again, it was like a leopard. It's the beast. Chapter, there we go. Always that chapter. There's the leopard. Okay, there's so much stuff going on at this airport. It is just unreal. Of course, there is a Freemason cornerstone, capstone made in granite that is dedicated. It is the New World Airport Commission that put it together. You can kind of put the pieces together with regard to that. You've got a dying leopard here is a mural on the wall. There's a lot of sick murals in this place, but nonetheless, there's a dying leopard laying there. You can't see its paws to know what they look like, if they look like a bear or not. But all these children are just mourning over this. Looks probably like there is a head wound right there. You can't quite tell, but the pattern is off of everything else. And look who's standing next to it, smiling. Anyway, we're back to him again, standing there. There he is, looking there. He will be back. I think he does not have long for the world. Now we got this guy doing this. I mean, this whole family is not what people think they are. There's the other son, Prince Charles. She's soon to be a widow. All these weird hand signs. People are asking, I mean, even magazines are like, what's going on with this stuff? What are they doing all the time here? Well, they can't figure it out. He knows. Okay, we've got him holding up this was called Invictus. It's, I believe, a video game that was given to the troops. A lot of very funny how you put together a commercial and you got her, and she's always been known as somewhat of a recluse. So here she is doing this commercial with him holding the instructions to this. Now, it says a couple things on here, and immediately when I saw this, I'm like, okay, I want to know what this is all about, because this and this don't mean anything to me, but they, of course, always do mean something. So, I started looking around to see what that meant. Found it very quickly. The burning bush, Moses asked what he is to say to the Israelites when they ask what God has sent him to them. So, in other words, who is this God? And Yahweh replies, I am who I am, adding, say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. So, we have that on the back of that. We have Invictus Games. Invictus, unconquerable. Now, this is what I thought was really interesting. We've got it from William E. Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Whatever gods, doesn't matter who they are. Apparently that does not cover Yahweh, because it could be anybody. It's the Nephilim gods is what they're basically saying here. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. This is about rebellion. This is God. This is what God said he is. God said, I am. You are saying, I am the master of my fate, my soul. This is about rebellion. So, again, very funny somebody put this with this phrase, because this has been seen the last couple of weeks when people look outside. There's something wrong with the way the moon is having its moon phases. The moon, if you look up moon phases, they are always from left to right or right to left, and it splits. They do not do this. This is actually prophecy in motion right now, because you will see this obviously on the crescent of the Masonic hats. You will see it on the top of the Islamic crescent moon that they use as their symbol. These lines from Invictus invoke the invincible power within us to survive in our darkest times and surmount our fate. Now you got him. This is Invictus. I am. Look at all these people. What is he doing? He's going boom. She's looking at him. She goes boom. He turns around, goes boom. I know what all this is about. It's about this. Those two, that whole group, they're all in cahoots. They know what's about to happen to our country. They're planning it. Anyway, I will end it with a Donald Trump does dramatic reading of the snake, armor of God, belt of truth, breast of righteousness, feet fitted with the gospel of peace, shield of faith, helmet of salvation, sword of the truth. Do everything to Abba's glory. Read me. God bless everyone.
So I read this the other day, and I said, wow, that's really amazing. That's really incredible. And it's The snake lyric. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Interesting. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up cozy in a curvature of silk and then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work, and that night, as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken and revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in, by now you might have died. She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bit me. Heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.